Coming up in the news, Ghana to make oral presentation on maritime boundary dispute with Côte d'Ivoire at the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea.
Police beefs up security nationwide ahead of Christmas festivities.
And tons of plastic rice seized in Nigeria. Hello, good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. You're live on GBC24 and GTV. This is News Hour. My name is Akbene Avo Ajaja.
And I am Michelin Taka. You welcome. We start off in Accra. Ghana is scheduled to make an oral presentation at the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea in The Hague with regards to the maritime boundary dispute with Côte d'Ivoire. At a meeting between the government's arbitration team and the incoming administration's legal and governance team, spokesperson Ms. Gloria Kufu said all the necessary documents have been presented to them for their perusal.
For the incoming administration, what is left now is a timely presentation of a copy of the draft speeches from the arbitration team. La Côte d'Ivoire is seeking to nullify the maritime boundary, which Ghana argues has been recognized by both parties for more than 4 decades.
We have agreed that the speeches that are being prepared for the oral presentation, we would be given drafts in a timely manner so that our side will look at it and make inputs, if any. So that's where we are now, and they're agreeable to that. We have said that things should go on. People responsible for different aspects of preparation towards the arbitration should go on and do their work so that we will not have any hitches whatsoever. So after today, we are waiting for them to give us the drafts for their oral presentation. We, on our part, will look at it. They have gone on and given us some documents already, which we'll begin to look at. Where we are is the need to get on top of the draft for oral, and then we will move on from there.
The Acting General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party NPP, Mr. John Boadu, says the President's appointment of the SHRAJ and NCCE commissioners cannot be overlooked even if it is legal. He noted that the appointment, coupled with the increase in national service allowances and awards of contracts during the transition period, is an indication of bad faith.
I don't think any contract is cast in stone, and especially if you get into contract based on fraud and bad faith. Obviously, there are rooms to look at it. I personally feel that we just have about 2 weeks to time. We are just being calm. Obviously, 7 January will come, so that we'll look at some of these things. I don't think there's a need. I think this is intended to cause some turbulence. People will start complaining and all that. So if you are an incoming government, you are not careful and you comment, you end up even incurring the displeasure of your own citizenry.
The appointment of the heads of 2 state institutions, the National Commission for Civic Education and the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, have generated controversies as to whether the President had the mandate to do so or acted in bad faith. Although a suit has been filed against the Attorney General to that effect, reaction from MPs remain mixed, even within the minority in Parliament. Sarah Ofori reports.
Mr. Joseph Whittle and Madame Josephine Nkrumah are now the commissioners of SHRAJ and the NCCE respectively. The news of the appointment on Monday was received with disdain by some members of the public, especially the incoming administration. Following the President's action, a suit has been filed in court against the Attorney General to seek interpretation of the laws by the NPP parliamentary candidate for the Osu-Kole-Klote constituency, lawyer Philip Addison. However, what are the views of members of Parliament?
When you look at it critically, It is not a one-time thing where the president can just wake up today and appoint to somebody as it's a process that he may have consulted with. They are appointed in consultation with the Council of State. So the question is, when was the appointments referred to the Council of State? Was it before the elections and, for that matter, the transition period, or it was done within the transition period? If the reference had been made to the Council of State, and for that matter, they had advised before the election and, for that matter, the transition period, that those people be appointed, then I think the president's action may not be as malicious as we may think.
The president should have exercised restraint. We are in the transition period, and there's a lot of talk going on serious matters bordering on recruitment and the award of our contract.
The discussion must be on the competence of the appointees. It is not about whether or not the person has the right or has the power or this moral argument. It's neither here nor there. Do you understand? Let's talk about the increment in salaries and that of the national service and what have you. What is wrong with it? These negotiations never started today. It didn't start today. And this is not the first time we're seeing increment in people's salaries. Every year, you know that people have been demonstrating against this government for some time now. Strikes upon strikes. So if we have completed the negotiations and then today President says, look, I've announced. If you read the press statement, it is an announcement of something that has been agreed upon.
If they say hand over your comprehensive notes by 30 days to elections, every sensible person, it means that in good faith, don't act as if your term is continuing. And what do we find? Ministers signed. In fact, a minister went to the transitional team and made a categorical statement that he is not going to allow the incoming ministers or incoming nominees, anybody to step in his office till 7th January. It's on record, Minister Yariga. Lo and behold, we find that that same minister has gone on signing contracts and doing things ultra-vires. It doesn't augur the bad faith. That's what I'm talking about. Bad faith.
What exactly do they mean if they claim the president acted in bad faith?
We are just about to end the year, December, January. What difference does it make? If you take your time and just allow the incoming president to take that decision, we are in December. So what work will the incoming, appointees do from now up to the day that the new president will assume the office?
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, when he swears, he's sworn into office, reserve the right to reverse some of those changes, appointments, if it's found that it's been inimical to the interest of the state.
Not all of those in the minority, though, will tax the president of any wrongdoing.
The president will not have to always consult the transition team before taking decisions. He's the president of Ghana and is still vested with the powers to exercise as president of Ghana. But you see, there are major decisions. For example, people have spoken about the increment of the national service allowances. That was not captured in the budget. You understand? But you increase salaries of such a large number, about 70,000 people, by 40%, which is quite substantial.
Deputy Minister for Lands, Forestry and Natural Resources and MP for Draboso, Kwabna Mensah Akando, insists that the president did nothing wrong.
I think it is one out of two things. Number one, it is whether they thought that, look, we should leave this appointment behind so that the new regime will come and do them and take the credit. Or we have made so many promises and therefore we are feeling the heat at this point in time. Let us start preparing the minds of Ghanaians. So we didn't know what was in there. They have done this, they've signed this contract. For me, in my humble opinion, I think it is one out of these two things. Either that they have absolutely no kids.
He maintains that until the 7th January 2017, President Mahama has the prerogative to act according to the Constitution. Serofuri, GBC24, Parliament House, Accra.
The police says 70% of its personnel will be deployed countrywide over the holiday period. At a briefing in Accra on security measures in place over the Christmas period and into the new year, the Director of Operations, COP Christian Tete, said the general public must cooperate with the police and report any suspicious-looking persons, including motorbike riders, otherwise referred to as Okada, during this festive season.
According to the police, miscreants take advantage of unsuspecting persons during holiday periods, especially when people are making merry or relaxing. Since criminal activities are usually high at such times, the Ghana Police Service often reinforces security across the country.
People who leave home for churches and 31st December vigils should endeavor to leave people home to take care of their properties. Community watchdogs should be activated. Let your neighbors know when you are leaving home. You should share police emergency numbers with your neighbors. Be careful of people around you when you are discussing financial issues. Report to police people who lurk around your neighborhood, either day or night. Most of the criminals, they come in the day to recce where they want to operate. So if you are home and you see strange faces in your neighborhood, quickly call the police emergency lines.
Also, ahead of the holiday season, vehicular traffic is heavy.
We shall deploy at the banks, hotels, drinking spots, market centers, and malls in both uniform and plain clothes. You can always contact the police on emergency telephone lines. 191 for all networks, 18555 for Vodafone and MTN, 0302 770 334, or 0302 773 906. These are our landlines.
At the launch of this year's Operation Father Christmas 2016, the police assured all of a peaceful season. The police, however, were worried about the spate of road accidents recorded so far this year and advised all to make safety a priority. Meanwhile, the police, as of the 21st of December 2016, has started monitoring and controlling the traffic situation in the capital.
Between January and November this year, 315 people died through road accidents in the Eastern region. This, according to data from the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service in the Eastern region, indicates a 47% increase over the same period last year.
Statistically, the Eastern region is often on record as one of the 4 regions out of the 10 in the country which records the highest number of road accidents. This is because the region serves as a route to neighboring Central, Ashanti, Greater Accra and Volta regions. It is also the major crossing point for the 3 regions of the north and Bono-Afo, as well as neighboring countries including Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger and Togo. The volume of vehicular traffic and the distance that the drivers cover, according to the police, is a contributing factor to the increase in road carnage. Other factors include the use of worn-out tires, excessive speeding, overloading and reckless driving, which leads to a rise in records of deaths and injuries. The Eastern Regional Head of MTTD, ACP Ebenezer Labi, gave a breakdown of accident statistics recorded in the Eastern region from January to November.
Last year, January to November, we had 1,613 vehicles involved. But this year I had 1,676. That is a 4% increase. Persons knocked down. Last year, 11 months last year, we had 256 knockdowns. But this year it has increased to 337. That means 31% increase. Fatal. Last year, same period, we recorded 186 cases, but this year we've recorded 260 cases, another increase of 39%. Pedestrian knockdown. Last year, same period, we recorded 256 cases, but this year it has increased to 337. That's a 31% increase.
The MTTD commander, who was unhappy about the increase in road accidents nationwide, spoke about measures to help minimize it.
What we are intend doing during this Christmas is that we have started educating the various drivers unions. We meet them, sensitize them, we educate them so that this year, the rest of the period, they will be able to reduce overspeeding, change their worn-out tires, and all other things that will help us to reduce accidents to its very minimum during the Christmas festivity.
President Mahama's delivery of the State of the Nation address in Parliament has now been scheduled for January 5th, 2017. A statement signed by the Acting Director of Public Affairs of Parliament, Kate Adu, said the address, which was earlier tabled for Thursday, 22nd of December 2016, will now be delivered on Thursday, the 5th of January 2017 at 10 a.m. President Mahama's delivery of the State of the Nation falls under Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution, which requires the sitting President of the Republic to deliver an address on the State of the Nation to the people of Ghana through the 6th Parliament of the Republic. Still in the news, the Ministry of the Interior says Sunday, 25th December 2016, Christmas Day, Monday, 26th December 2016, Boxing Day, and Sunday, 1st January 2017, New Year's Day, are statutory public holidays. In a statement, Interior Minister Prosper Bani said, since Christmas Day, 25th December 2016, and New Year's Day, 1st January 2017, fall on Sunday, the President has, by executive instrument, declared Tuesday, the 27th of December 2016, and Monday, 2nd January 2017, as public holidays throughout the country.
It's still the news live on GBC24 and GTV. Mrs. Lordina Mahama has celebrated Christmas with the Osu Children's Home and the Christ Faith Foster Home at Frafraha. She presented assorted food items and confectionery to the children and pledged to always support the homes across the country.
Over the years, the Osu Children's Home and the Frafraha Christ Faith Foster Homes have received support from Mrs. Lordina Mahama. It is the norm for the First Lady to visit the less privileged children to extend her greetings for the season and generally interact with them. The Osu Children's Home currently has over 150 children, including babies. Inadequate accommodation and transportation are some of their challenges. For proper upkeep of these babies and toddlers, an appeal for the construction of a new nursery was made by the authorities of the home to the First Lady, Mrs. Lordina Mahama. After 2 years, the home is now complete and will serve as a nursery annex for the babies and toddlers. It will also serve as an isolation center for most of the abandoned toddlers that come in sick. The new nursery has playing rooms and an infirmary. According to the National Director of the Department of Social Welfare, Mr. Benjamin Otu, the Social Welfare Department is now focusing on family-based care to reduce the increasing numbers of children in foster homes and orphanages. He said, getting foster parents in Ghana for these children has always been a challenge. The First Lady, Mrs. Lordina Mahama, was also at Frafraha Christ Faith Foster Home, where she interacted with the children and wished them the best of the season.
She presented assorted food items, drinks and toiletries to the home that has over 100 children, some of whom are in the tertiary institutions and junior high school. Mrs. Lordina Mahama said care for these children will continue to be her priority even after her husband leaves office. Since she became First Lady, Mrs. Mahama has adopted and supported these homes and helped some of the inmates to further their education. Similar donations were also made to the Let the Kids Smile Children's Home, Amfani Children's Home, Tamale Children's Home and Bethesda, all in the Bonafu region and northern regions. For GBC24, Mavis Ofe Champo reporting.
Hello, good evening, and many thanks for joining us for some business updates. And I'm Dorothy Ajamine. Macro Shipping Limited, a logistics and freight forwarding company in Takoradi, has donated assorted items to the Inyam Children's Home in the Western region. The gesture forms part of the company's corporate social responsibility.
The Inyam Children's Home was established in 2005 as an orphanage with over 300 children. It was later converted to a children's home to cater for abandoned children sent to the Department of Social Welfare. Currently, the home has 70 children, while others are from the surrounding communities. Through the benevolence of individuals and organizations, the home is catering for 14 students in SHS, 8 in apprenticeship, and 4 in tertiary institutions. However, the home is grappling with inadequate resources to cater for the increasing children's population. It is to assist the home with its operations that Macro Shipping Company Limited has donated items worth 20,000 Ghana cedis to the Inyam Children's Home. The items include rice, beans, gari, cooking oil and drinks. The Business Development Executive of Macro Shipping Limited, Mr. Jacob Notop, said the gesture is in line with the company's corporate social responsibility.
We want to trust that you will make your stay here profitable. So as you leave this and then you join society, you will know that yes, you have not wasted your time. You have spent it well.
The manager of the home, Mr. Daniel Payne, expressed gratitude to the company for the gesture. The director of the company, Mr. Roland Zalima, promised to liaise with like-minded individuals and organizations to raise funds to pay the children's school fees.
Access Bank has boosted its capital by an additional 29 million Ghana cedis. The development aims at positioning the bank in the top tier in Ghana and was made possible through the issuing of 118 million shares at 4 Ghana cedis per share on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Access Bank comes to the stock market with about 500 million Ghana cedis, making it one of the leading banks with huge capital on the stock market.
Access Bank is the first Nigerian bank to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Management say the journey to raising an additional capital has not been easy, but by dint of hard work, the dream has been realized. A look at the bank's books shows that in 2015, net profit stood at 123 million Ghana cedis, matching the performance in 2014. Assets increased from 1.7 billion to 2.4 billion Ghana cedis, representing 41%. Deposits also increased to 1.73 billion from 1.2 billion, representing a jump of 44%. The bank's capital now stands at 118 million Ghana cedis, a customer base of 175,000 with 39 branches dotted across the country. The managing director of Access Bank, Dolapo Ogundimu, said the listing on the stock market forms part of the bank's strategy to expand, invest in technology and roll out of world-class banking services to cherished customers.
We have been clear in our minds that to rank amongst the top-tier banks in Ghana within the next few years, then it is important to make our banking franchise more indigenous. And certainly, this involves setting new standards and being more inclusive in the ownership of the bank. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, our interest in development of the capital market dates back as far as 2010, when Access Bank hosted the first ever thought leadership seminar on the secondary bond market in Ghana. Since then, we have engaged in several activities that strongly advocated for participation in this market to ultimately enhance the prospects for Ghana's socio-economic development.
The managing director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Mr. Kofi Yamoa, said that getting on board of Access Bank to the Accra Bourse is a vote of confidence of the capital markets in Ghana.
Access Bank is listing a total of 118 million shares. So Access is bringing to the value of the exchange close to $500 million Ghana cedis. And so at the end of the day, the market capitalization of the exchange will be richer by approximately $500 million Ghana cedis. Access Bank will be the 41st equity security on this market, and incidentally the 11th bank also on this market. So at least from the arithmetic, you can know that a quarter of this market is reflecting the banking sector as far as the country is concerned.
The chairman of the Council for the Ghana Stock Exchange, Mr. Kweku Bedu Ado, said the market is the fastest place for companies to raise long-term capital.
Even as we welcome Access Bank onto the main exchange of the Ghana Stock Exchange, we would like to send a message out there that the Ghana Stock Exchange is capable of much more, or has the platform so much more than listing on the stock exchange and trading in equities. The addition of the fixed income market is a major step forward for this exchange in raising the profile of the exchange. And I throw the challenge out there to all companies operating in Ghana, as well as to the investment banking community, that now is the time to work with companies to step up our capital raising activities, not only on the equity side, but also on the fixed income side. Especially as interest rates begin to decline, it creates the right opportunity for us to diversify and deepen the market.
Access Bank shares started trading on Wednesday at 4.00 Ghana cedis, but by midday, the value had surged by 10 pesos to close trading at 4 Ghana cedis 10 pesos.
We move to the Upper East region, where Accra Breweries Eagle Lager has handed over a 91,000 Ghana cedi irrigation facility for farmers at Nabu and surrounding areas. The aim is to improve their living standards in line with the company's Sustainable Development Initiative. The project is estimated to benefit a population of over 5,000 and ensure all year-round farming.
The farmers in Nabu are mainly into the cultivation of millet, maize, cowpea, groundnuts and rearing of animals. They lack a constant source of water for domestic as well as their farming activities. The situation becomes severe during the dry season, affecting their vegetable production. It is against this backdrop that Eagle Lager Beer, as part of its Sustainable Development Initiatives, provided the 91,000 Ghana cedi facility to alleviate their challenges. The project is expected to benefit a population of over 5,000 people in Nabu and surrounding communities like Gia and Betui. The Irrigation System Initiative is the Eagle brand's contribution to ensuring that farming activities in these areas are sustained. The District Chief Executive for Kasina Nankana, George Nontera, said the project will go a long way to ensure food security and further reduce poverty among residents.
It will serve by providing good drinking water to the people and also for irrigation. Yes. How about that? That improves the lives of the people here.
A senior branch manager of Accra Brewery, Mr. Goka, said that the program seeks to improve the livelihood and income levels of rural farmers.
We believe that we need to be able to carry a farming activity throughout the entire year. So what we do is to provide a mechanized borehole with an irrigation facility attached to it, so that people can have a source of clean drinking water and at the same time be able to irrigate their farmlands.
Accra Brewery is a leader in the manufacturing, marketing and distribution of beer, sparkling soft drinks and non-alcoholic malt beverages in Ghana.
Back here in Accra, the president-elect, Nana Akufo-Addo, has confirmed his first ministerial nominee in the person of Mr. Alan Kojo Tremantin. He said Mr. Tremantin will be heading again to the Ministry of Trade and Industry in order to give teeth to the one district, one factory policy promised by the NPP during the 2016 election campaign. Nana Addo said this when he interacted with the captains of industry in Accra today. You're watching news, and this is the business segment of the news. Let's have the performance of the local currency on the Tabang market. Let's also have the prices of gold, cocoa and light crude. That's it for business. We have more news coming up. Please do stay.
Welcome back. The president-elect Nana Akufo-Addo says his administration will target double-digit GDP growth throughout his tenure in office. According to him, this will be anchored on the one district, one factory policy, rural, coastal and northern and Zongo development funds to bring this into reality. Nana Akufo-Addo, who was speaking at the annual general meeting of the Private Enterprise Foundation PEF in Accra, said these projects, coupled with a number of tax reductions his government will roll out, will empower the private sector to engineer growth and create employment for Ghanaians.
New Patriotic Party during the general elections premised its campaign on job creation through the establishment of one factory in every district of the country. The party also said it will give every constituency $1 million to facilitate developmental projects at the local level. According to the party, the high taxes imposed on businesses stifles economic growth, so it will review the tax regime when it assumes office on January 7, 2017. To this end, the president-elect Nana Akufo-Addo was invited by the Private Enterprise Foundation to spell out his vision and how the private sector can be involved in implementing the manifesto promises. The Chief Executive Officer of Private Enterprise Foundation, Nana Osebunsu, outlined higher taxes, unreliable power supply, high cost of credit, and stable currency among others as the factors that has militated against the growth of the private sector. The president-elect Nana Akufo-Addo said the NPP's agenda in government will focus on transforming Ghana into the most friendly business society in Africa. And this will be achieved through the restoration of macroeconomic stability, shifting the focus of the economy from taxation to production, and ensuring fiscal discipline. When this is done, the debt burden will be reduced and will free resources for the private sector to borrow to grow businesses in the country.
We aim to achieve double-digit GDP growth annually for the next 4 years. And this is possible if you remember that under the Kufuor-led NPP government, the economy attained a GDP growth rate of 9.1% in 2008 without oil. We will reduce the cost of doing business, maintain fiscal discipline, reduce government borrowing, and reduce interest rates to spur private sector investment.
He said the MPP government will roll out policies targeted at creating jobs in order to help fight poverty.
To attain a competitive economy that is capable of producing sustainable growth, jobs and shared benefits for all, two key stakeholders must play their roles. First, the government, by setting the environment and climate to allow private sector to flourish. And secondly, the private sector to have the confidence to exploit all the opportunities offered by such a business-friendly environment. Once it's in government, our priority is to do all we can to give you the confidence of a positive business environment, devoid of arbitrary and irrational policy initiatives, and one that gives you the confidence to do what you should do best. Invest in the numerous opportunities to create jobs and prosperity. To achieve our objectives, our principal economic policy direction will be to restore macroeconomic stability, shift the focus of economic management from taxation to production, manage the economy competently, and make the machinery of government work to deliver the benefits of progress to Ghanaians.
On the awarding of contract, Nana Akufo-Addo was emphatic that his administration would do away with the recent phenomenon of sole sourcing and will ensure that 70% of government contracts are given to local businesses.
We'll introduce a policy requiring the 30% of the required 70% to be sourced from entities owned by women, persons with disability, and those established under the Youth Enterprise Fund. My government will work with stakeholders, including employers and trades unions, in hopefully in an open and fair manner on employee welfare, as well as ensuring living wages for all workers. We intend to develop in collaboration with employers, trades unions, educational institutions, and other state bodies, such as SNET, a database of the labor market with a view to establishing a national recruitment agency to serve as the primary source for channeling job openings to Ghanaians. We will also work with employers and trade unions to formulate a policy of comprehensive occupational health and safety standards.
Nana said the MPP has a comprehensive blueprint which by the end of his first tenure in 2020 will help put Ghana on the global industrialization map and not a raw material export nation.
The Eastern Regional Head of the Food and Drugs Authority, Mr. Samuel Kwachi, has asked consumers to be extra vigilant when purchasing items, especially during the Christmas season, as the markets are being flooded with expired, fake and unregistered products. In an interview with GBC24, Mr. Kwachi indicated that the Regional Directorate has impounded some expired, unregistered and fake products on the market as part of its surveillance.
Ghanaians were alarmed by a recent report on social media about some expired and fake products, including the alleged plastic rice on the Ghanaian market. Although the FDA has issued a press statement allaying people's fears of the presence of plastic rice in the country, people are still worried about expired and unregistered products on the market. As Christmas approaches, consumers are at risk as some of the products on the market are questionable. The FDA is the body mandated to protect consumers. The Eastern Regional Head of the FDA, Mr. Samuel K. Kwachi, advised the public to ensure that the product they buy bear the FDA's registration numbers, storage conditions, and expiration dates. He emphasized that consumers should ensure that information on the product are in English before they buy them.
We are advising that be on the lookout. First, watch to find out the expiration date. If it is obliterated, if you find a batch information obliterated, that is, if it is tampered with, if you find it scratched, or if you find something pasted or affixed at the place, if you find anything that makes it suspicious, we advise you not to patronize that product nor that item, because it means that somebody might have tampered with the actual expiration date or the batch information on the product.
The regional directorate has also seized some expired, fake and unregistered products on the market. They include soft drink, tomato paste, shito, mayonnaise and liquid soap.
Received their 2017 badges at a ceremony at the headquarters of the GFA. All of them have passed the test and physical condition exercises. Top officials of the GFA, including President Kwesi Nyantakyi, will be at the event. The referees are Abdul Latif Adari, Prosper Awutrimrim Adi, William Selom Agbovi, Cecil Amati Flesher, Daniel Ni Ayilaye, Joseph Odate Lamte and Reginald Lathbridge. The assistant referees include David Nelson Ajin, Paul Kojo Atimaka, Ibrahim Adams Badu, David Lionheart Ne Latelaye, Eric Nanteri, Dawood Brema Yamdogo Wadrago and Malik Alidu Salifu. The female referees are Delight Alobu, Joyce Obiniwa Apia, Theresa Bremansu and Theresa Akonyam. The female assistant referees are Alice Farizwa Chakule, Millicent Kano and Millicent Thought.
Ghanaian supporters planning to travel to Gabon for the 2017 AFCON are said to have a deal of a lifetime from Go Star Air. The only owned Ghanaian carrier intends to fly supporters to and from Gabon for the tournament at a reduced fare. The CEO, Eric Bannerman, has told GBC24 Sports that the package is part of the airline's corporate social responsibility.
Fans play a major role in sports, though, because the fans sometimes hedge the players to go on. Once some players look at the fans, they don't want to fail the fans, so they play their best. But if you're going to take the fans, that's where sponsorship comes in. The government doesn't need to fly fans all over. They need to get sponsors on board to take those fans in. And that's why we are just fighting hard to get our aircraft certified, then we can just bring it to Accra, then we take the funds to Gabon. We need to help the government. So we come in with those aircraft and not only the blasters, we just want to help the clubs as well. What we're going to do is that we're going to fly them free, but they have to pay for the fuel. So if a club like Wild Stars is going to Africa, you can mobilize your supporters. They can pay like $200. That can just take both the players. So the team itself is not going to pay for the fare. It's not going to pay anything. The team, the management, and the players are not going to pay anything. The supporters are going to take care of it. So, and moreover, when we fly, we're going to give Ghanaians 3 check-in bags free.
Sure.
To wherever they're going.
Yes, we're going to airlift supporters to wherever there is a game. Per day paying, the fueling the plane. That is what it's saying. Okay, you fuel the plane, and then we transport you over there. It's as simple as that.
A fueled plane, cost-wise per unit, is far way lesser than paying the full fare to
a particular
venue. The big challenge is that our supporters find it very difficult in traveling in terms of tickets, and it is so much dear. Traveling from one African country to other country, you'll be amazed the kind of prices that they quote. But we are bringing in a different competition here. We want to say that we are bringing a revolution that will change the aviation terrain.
The president of the Ghana Beach Soccer Association, Yawan Pofuankra, has been appointed by the newly formed West Africa Beach Soccer Union, Wabusu, and its headquarters and he's going to be made the media head, communication, and also head the branding department.
The appointment was confirmed following a post-tournament meeting of executives and pioneer founders at the Africa Beach Soccer Championships in Lagos, Nigeria. Mr. Ampofo Ankra is widely regarded as the man who brought organized beach soccer to Ghana and initiated the formation of the Black Sharks, the Ghana national beach soccer team, in 2013. Ghana also has a national beach soccer league comprising 16 clubs. His immediate task will be to draft a template for the union to embrace partners, sponsors and donors across the sub-region, the continent and globally. It is believed his media experience in Ghana, the BBC and Supersports, among others, made him a strong choice for the role. Lovers of the game say the birth of the WAPSU at the just-ended Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations in Nigeria would accelerate the growth of the sport in the sub-region. The 4 founding nations of WAPSU, Nigeria, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, unanimously voted the union's headquarters would be in Lagos.
Nigerian football legend Austin J.J. Okocha says he has no regrets about his inability to win the African Best Player award during his days of playing. That's all for sports.
Hello, good evening. Time for the art segment. My name is Valerie Danso. A new style of film is gradually finding its way onto the Ghanaian screen. Comfort Arthur is one of the few female film animators in Ghana. Comfort is also a filmmaker, writer, editor, and actress. She won the Best Spoken and Poetry Film with Black Barbie at the Real Time Film Festival in Nigeria. Comfort said Black Barbie was inspired by her experience from skin bleaching.
I was the most talked about spider in all of Africa. I was a household celebrity.
Why animation? Because of all the things you want to do.
Oh, because I came from an illustrator background. I'm an illustrator, so I do a lot of drawings, and I was doing that for a long time. And when it comes to illustration, animation is the next step. Animation, basically, for those that don't know, is when you put still images together to make a short, to make it move. It's the illusion of putting small pictures together. So you get drawings, you put them all together, and they start moving, like cartoons that we see on our TV right now. They're just still drawings that you do, and then it starts moving. It looks like they move.
When I was 23, I stood in front of my local cosmetic counter. This
recent one, Black Barbie, which stars Amike Abrabrese as the voiceover, is about skin bleaching, which is a very important topic to me because when I was young, I tried to bleach my skin. Wow. So it's about me. It's a poetry animation about me struggling to love my skin color and growing up hating my color and trying to bleach myself. So as you see in the trailer, I said when I was 23, I went to a skin bleaching to buy my first bleaching cream, and I had my first bleaching encounter. So it's all the voiceover is poetry, so everything is rhyming. And I used Amike because, you know, obviously Amike has a strong belief and has been doing a lot of things about bleaching. So that won the Ghana Movie Award this year. Been growing in this society where lighter is seen as more beautiful. And if you see in the billboards now, you see all these fair skins. If you watch music videos, we see all these fair skin dancers. So people are conditioned to not believe that the skin color is beautiful.
So how are you motivated, as I was asking?
Oh, okay, I'm motivated because I know the power of filmmaking, what filmmaking can do to the mind. When you're watching something, it can inform, it can even change. When you watch something, it can change your way of thinking. So that's how people don't realize how much filmmaking is so important. So that's why I try to use that to motivate me to inform and educate people with my films.
How do you see the Ghanaian movie industry or the film industry?
I hear a lot of people saying we don't have an industry, but I wouldn't say, it would be wrong for me to say we don't. And I think we can get better. I think we are trying to get better. And I think one of the problems we are having is the idea of competing and not collaborating enough. which hence why I said that in my future I would like to collaborate with more animators, because in order for us to grow we have to collaborate. We're not a big, you know, we're quite small, especially animation, we're quite small. So it's all about collaborations, and that's what's you know, dragging us down, a lot of competition and not collaborating to work together to get our industry to grow.
Rabbit on a billboard. The idiot didn't have the slightest idea on how to be a hero.
We'll take the weather report. And this has been the news. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back at 10:30 with News Tonight.
Good evening.